Chuckle fuck of the week.
If you look over to the right there, buddy, there should be a Florida man. Yeah, right there.
Let's get.
So, yeah, 18-year-old bites off man's ear during spring break fight on Florida Beach.
Nice.
Yeah, he's an 18-year-old white kid named Jack Turner.
Okay, Jack.
So I think the question is
shout out
here.
Jack Turner, man.
Yeah, shout out to Jack,
Free
man.
my dog.
Yeah, free Jack, man. Free that boy Jack.
Free that boy Jack.
Now,
He's a good kid.
yeah, because
He's
you know,
a good kid.
yeah, man.
You never know, man.
Hey, man, we just got to get him in an MMA gym.
Right.
Get him in a jiu-jitsu gym, you know?
Get him on the baseball field.
Yeah, make sure he's got his mouth guard.
Just kidding.
He's got his mouth guard
Just
in.
kidding.
Oh, my God. All right. Mic check, mic check.
Testing.
And we are live.
We are live.
Thanks for coming in,
Yes,
brother.
sir. Happy to be here, man.
Yes, sir. I'm going to go ahead and just give a quick intro for my guest today. The man, the myth, the legend. First off, though, this is the return of the Pancake Jake Show.
Sir.
We've been off for like a year. I've been talking to Jonah about getting this thing back rolling.
Yes, sir.
And so now it's like it's return of the Pancake Jake Show, but it's also return of the Fiskanator.
It's Return of the Jedi, basically.
Return of the Jedi, because Jonah's been on the show before. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna, for the people who don't know, I'm gonna go ahead and give another intro.
Let's
you
go.
know? All right, so we got Jonah the Fiskanator. Welcome back to the show. Jonah's
Thanks
a
for having
model and actor. He's an athlete with an extreme commitment to fitness. He's a construction worker, a great friend of mine, and many others. He's also a family man, full of loyalty, and he'll die on his sword. He'll die on his sword, you know?
Damn, that should be my my dating app bio right there.
Yeah, honestly.
Summed it up for me, man.
Yeah, dude. Foreskin warrior.
Whoa.
And that wasn't in there, but I figured I'd
We
throw
didn't-
that in.
We didn't say we were gonna go over this beforehand, dude.
No, we didn't. That was that was spur of the moment. What's up, Vlad? You can go ahead and sit in here.
What's up, Vladdy?
Team foreskin, bro.
Yeah.
He knows about it.
I just heard that coming in.
Team
I'm like,
Foreskin, man. If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah. So I wanted to give a quick shout out to the Tortas and Jonah. How we doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. I'm really happy to be here on this podcast. Yeah, I think we should just dive into current events, whatever you want to do. And
Yeah, man.
kind of spitball. We're just hanging out.
Yeah, we got our carnitine canisters
my
here,
gosh.
and definitely feeling good about this, man.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
it, man.
let's do
I'm
it.
happy to be here.
We got Vladdy on the controls, and
Shout out, Vlad.
yeah, first thing though, you guys can follow Jonah on Instagram at Jonah_Fiskaa, or you can follow him on TikTok at King Jonah.
Follow me, man. You won't regret it.
Subscribe to the Pancake Jake Show. All right, let's dive in. So first off, we got some fan questions. I figured we'll get those out of the way.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know if you know this fan. You definitely know this fan, Brandon Wimes.
Oh, B. Wimes, dude.
You know B. Wimes?
Yeah, it's been a while, but I know him.
Yeah, so Brandon Wimes, he tapped in. Shout out to Brandon Wimes, great guy,
Shout out B.
great
Wimes,
human
man.
being, full of heart, man. I just remember him on the football field, full of heart. But his question was, what was the hardest aspect of competing at the college level in wrestling? And
It's all you, Poppy.
yeah, so I'll go ahead and answer that one. And I think the hardest part of college wrestling for me, well, it was two things. First thing was probably the fact that I was at FSU, which is one of the biggest party schools in the nation, as
Right.
people know. So there's that factor. There's something going on every night, and how are you going to be the best if you're just partying every night? So I was battling with that. The women, the partying, the fun, trying to stick to my athletic goals too.
Mm-hmm.
So that was tough. But the real hardest part about college wrestling was this drill that we did. I'll break it down real quick.
Yeah.
And it's kind of relevant because we just had the NCAA championships
Right.
and whatnot. So this is a cool question. But basically, the coach would split the team. Lower weight classes would be with each other. The bigger weight classes would be with each other.
Okay.
And for 2 minutes, the lower weight classes would be wrestling live nonstop. And while that was happening, the big weight classes were running around the gym nonstop. And then after 2 minutes, we switch. But if you don't run all the way around the gym in less than 30 seconds, so basically you have to get 4 laps around the gym within that 2 minutes, then you're doing push-ups. So it was like, and then we would do 6, 7, 8 rounds of that. So FAMU wrestling, I think the biggest thing, because FAMU and Florida State combined as a wrestling team during practice, the hardest part about college wrestling was that drill in my mind. It was just so draining, you know? And you could relate from the football days. I mean,
Oh my gosh, but we were a lot younger. I mean, when were you up there wrestling?
it was, let's see, I graduated
How
in
old were you?
2019. So I was like in my early 20s.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Early 20s.
18 to like 24.
Yeah, I remember football and doing more like explosive kind of training, and then getting into cardio later in life. It's harder when we're not old by any means, but you know, when you're 29, 30, it's like you got to remember those things from your past because everything gets harder.
Yeah. It's like you
You
say,
don't have the stored energy that you used to have. You know, when you're 20, you could go binge and tally and still go make it to practice.
yeah, you
It's
feel
like-
kind of invincible, but you're not.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
just taking a gander at the championships
Yeah.
this past weekend, none of those kids are
I was
doing that.
literally just about to say those guys aren't binging, man.
They don't even know what alcohol is.
No.
I mean, maybe on the off season once a year, maybe, but those dudes are pretty locked in,
Oh my gosh.
you know, and that at that high level of competition, you have to be,
Yeah.
you know, you can't just be like a technical guru and make it at that level. There's
Right.
some dude who's going to be both
Yeah.
technical guru, but also just in extremely good shape and doesn't have any faults, you know, during season. Yeah. That discipline, you know? So yeah, that would probably be the hardest part, the cardiovascular aspect of it. Just
Cardio, of course, and then balancing, you know, distractions and
yeah,
life, wanting to enjoy life, but obviously wanting to wrestle too, you know? You're like,
right.
you want to do both, you know? Same when, you know, in high school football, it's like, you know, the kids that made it that I was friends with, they weren't the ones that were partying and chasing. I mean, some of them were chasing girls and stuff, but like the ones that weren't abusing substances like that went to the NFL, went the extra mile. you know?
Right. They made it that
That's-
extra
That's
mile.
how it is, you know?
Yeah, if you want to be in the 1%, you got to do what the 1%'s doing and what the 99.9 isn't
Yep.
doing.
100% agree. If you want to be a big dog, you got to put that work in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, long story
Yeah.
short, that's all it is.
That's it.
Yeah. So shout out to Brandon Wimes though. Great
Good
dude.
question.
Thanks for throwing in the question, Brandon. Next question is dipped by Demi Koulianis. You remember Demi from middle school?
Of course, yeah. She's
Yeah.
a great woman.
So shout out to Demi.
Shout
We'll
out
get
Demi.
into her question, but she has a business called Dip by Demi. She
Mhm.
makes custom cakes, desserts, and all that.
Yep.
Cupcakes.
I haven't tried it, so I'd love. I mean,
Oh, dude. Yeah,
I try to
it's
take
good.
it easy on the sweets these days. You know, my cholesterol's. you know,
Yeah.
but-
Well, you know, there might be there might be a
Just
special lady
No, I'm
out there
down
that
for it. I'm
you
down
know,
for
you know, that's the main thing. The strawberries dipped in the vanilla or
my
chocolate. It's
gosh.
delicious.
I'm hungry, so after this pod, we're gonna crank out some food.
Oh, 100%. And it's the Greek parade today, so we're probably gonna keep it honest and go
Shout,
get
shout
some.
out the Greeks out there. Shout out Tarpon Springs, Florida, Merck City. We do this for the city.
That we
That's
do.
it.
We'll get into Demi's question.
All right.
So Demi said, "What's the best part about being in your 30s era?" I'll let you answer that
Oh
first.
my gosh, dude, that's a deep question. It comes with its perks, comes with its ups and downs. You know, 30. They say, you know, 30, 35, your check knee light comes on, your check engine light comes on. You know, in a sense, you know what I
Check
mean.
me like yeah.
You're still waking up, depending on your diet and your lifestyle. You're still waking up rock hard.
Mhm.
So that's positive. You know.
Oh yeah,
You know, that's
yeah.
key.
Nothing changes from 25 to 30 in that aspect.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I would say, so the like the good things about in your 30s era, I would say is your 20s, you know, you did a lot of trying and failing. You went through different stages of life, different groups of friends, and by 30, you're kind of like you're grounded in a sense where, hey, I have my friends. Most people, you should. I have my tribe. I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. I got a family. I love them. You know your powers, and you're like, let's fucking do it. Like, or you get stuck in the, negative thought loops, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm 30. I'm just not gonna make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I'd say the advantages is like, yo, you're 30, bro. It's like now or never. There's nothing to lose. Jump into the deep end. Let your nuts hang. Talk your shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, let the nuts drag across the asphalt. It's okay if they blister a bit.
Yeah. You're a man, you're a woman, you're 30, you made it, we're blessed. It's like, let's fucking rock, That's what I'd say the perks is. It's like, obviously, you're still gonna have hardships, throughout life, but I'd say those are some of the great things. You kind of set, like, you're a man, you got your foundation built.
Yeah.
Or you should, or have an idea.
Have an idea where you're trying to go
Right.
at least, right?
Right.
And I could piggyback off that totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think about my dad. Okay, my dad's, I think he's 62.
Shout out Bill Larson.
Shout out to Wild Willie.
Stand up
man.
guy, Bill.
Wild Willie 62.
Stand up guy.
Yeah, he's a great human. And so I think about him though, and he's like 62. I just hit 30. And he's still full of purpose. He's still waking up every day doing his thing, happy to be alive and chasing goals. Yeah. And I look at that and I'm like, I could live a whole nother lifetime that I just lived and I still wouldn't be at that point.
Right.
So I don't buy into the concept of, oh, we're 30, man, we're getting older, my back hurts.
Yeah.
It's like, no, dude, I'll be 70 still living if I'm alive.
If you're a man, that's what we got to do.
Yeah.
Nut up or shut up.
Yeah. So, but, so I guess best part of being in the 30s era is like, everything's just starting to click, man.
Right.
Everything's just starting to click, And I've talked to people who are in their 40s and their 50s, and they say the same thing. It just starts to keep clicking more and more and more. Life, the puzzle pieces just keep coming together. Yeah. And as long as you stay on the right track, anybody could get addicted to heroin, but hey, we're not, trying to go down that route.
Pasco Ice, it's so easy accessible,
Yeah, it fluctuates all around the streets, and so.
Well, we did go into the negative though about being 30. Do you have anything you want to? Pitfalls of being 30. I can maybe add like aging. I mean, obviously.
Yeah, you could say that.
You are comfortable with your mortality, or at least you should. You're not gonna live forever. You're getting closer to the end of the video game,
Yeah, that's okay. And I got.
But there's beauty in that as well if you accept it.
Yes.
But yeah, you're aging, dude. You got to say, hey, I'm 30. But it's like it's just a number, bro. No one knows what the hell's going on anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Dude. Yeah, and like I know all the high school kids are on spring break right now. When I was in high school,
don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't do drugs. When I was in high school though, and I was on spring break, I'm gonna be honest, we were partying.
Oh, we were
every
partying
day.
Hard.
Now I can physically remember we were going to the pool. We were just hanging out with friends, going to the beach, having fun, drinking, whatever. But I never felt hungover. You get to 30, you know what I mean? You get to 30, it's 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. You're like, all right, like that. Okay, I understand.
Right.
When the older people would say alcohol is a poison, you better be careful. It's like it's totally a poison. You just don't know it when you're young.
When you're young, I could sleep for 2 hours, go on a complete bender, and go to work, just be fine.
Yeah,
like you're a little like but you're completely functional.
Yeah, you're able.
Like,
yeah,
the human body is a hell of a machine, and it's sad that, especially in America, we're pushed drinking really early and doing drugs early, and it's cool that we get it out of the way. But I feel like we do.
You might have to look at the flip side, because some people that don't drink alcohol till they're 30, I feel like that's where the manslaughter's with the DUI.
Right.
That stuff comes in. Yeah.
Learn from it at a young age, always being sketched out.
Know your limit.
I know I'm not supposed to do this. Let me at least try to be decent
Right.
about it. But once you're 30, you're kind of give a fucks go away, and then, hey, I've never drank before. Let me shoot this. Well, I've heard of people driving. Next thing you know, they take out some old person crossing the street or whatever.
Right.
They've never been in that situation.
That being said,
you feel like I'm an adult. I know what I'm doing.
Yep.
Until you don't.
Right.
So you know your limit. So you're partying so much young. So you're getting, oh, I can drink this much. Oh, I can do that.
Jake, we talked about it.
Yeah.
I learned that part young.
If you don't do that, so yeah, if you don't know your limits and then you just jump into it, then you're gonna be, you're gonna kill someone. God forbid,
what I mean?
Right.
You see it happen.
Yeah, I think best part about being 30 though, to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I'd say we're getting closer to financial freedom. We're enjoying the journey on the way there, and we're getting to that utopian place in our mind that we want to be at in our life. You know, and it's all clicking.
I think that's why 30's good. Now 30's bad only if you haven't done nothing in your 20s to figure it the hell out.
Amen,
That's
brother.
when it's
Yeah.
bad,
Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
that's when you start succumbing to
Basically, I would say this: if you're being 30 and becoming a man, it's like this. It's like this. It's either you're gonna piss on the porch like a puppy, and stay there and let the big dogs eat. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna stay on the porch, or you know what I mean? Or you're gonna
Are you gonna hop off and see what happens?
You're gonna start eating.
Hop off the porch, see what happens.
Some people get off the porch early, but
That's one thing about life. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. So you might as well do.
might as well drag
Don't
your
worry
nuts on
about
the
it.
asphalt, man.
Yeah, don't even worry about bringing any aquifer. But yeah, we'll transition. So we had some pretty sweet. We had a great weekend as far as like combat violence sports goes.
That's what we love, man.
We love it. Who
We
does
love that
it?
here at the Pancake Jake Show. We do.
Oh yeah.
We do like watching combat sports. We like to watch two men try to take each other out.
Yeah.
You know?
So we got multiple things to get into with that. Vladdy's got some videos over there on the left screen. But
Let's check them.
if you pull up, let's see. This weekend there was the UFC fight night, and I just wanted to talk about this fight because it was like I usually don't like hone in on girl fights,
Right.
But this girl fight was so badass.
Right.
It was this girl Shauna Bannon,
Okay.
and she went up against this girl from here it is right here.
Is that Molly McCann?
Nope. Molly McCann retired this weekend though.
Oh yeah.
But Shauna Bannon's in the green, and then we got Pooja Tumar in the white.
Pooja Tumar.
Now Pooja head kicks the absolute brain cells out of this. Here, go ahead and play that.
Shit out of it.
Right about here. Bop.
Oh dear Lord.
Put her to the
help us.
she's definitely Shauna's on bottom. She's in a different dimension right now, right? But at the same
my
time, her survival instincts are kicking in, I'd say.
Yeah.
And she actually ends up getting the dub after this,
Oh my
shortly
God.
after this. So watch this. So
Okay.
yeah, now Pooja's on top. And then it ends. If you go to the other video that says Shauna, this is her about 15 seconds later. She locked up an armbar.
Dear Lord.
And she actually,
That's insane.
She locks it in, taps her, bro.
That's a bad bitch.
That's a
right
bad
there.
bitch.
That's a bad bitch.
She looks like the next like female Conor McGregor.
She's
dude.
double cheeked up or not?
I thought so.
Double cheeked up on a Saturday. For
She's
sure.
a mother. I think they said
yeah.
that she's a mother. But she
Yeah, find yourself a woman that could put you in an armbar. You know.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's a I look at it when I see that. That's a quality woman right there.
Right.
Like she just like was like dazed and confused, got head kicked into a different dimension, grabs an arm, and locks it up and finishes the job.
No, that's honestly incredible.
Yeah, they pan the camera to her family in a minute. Here. Keep it rolling.
I'm like you. You know, no offense to women out there, we love them, we respect them. But a lot of the times in UFC, I kind of skip over the women fights. But lately, the women have been catching knockouts, submissions, and I've been interested. You know, because there's elite women like Bullet Shevchenko, the Xiao Zhang, the Asian champion. There's some elite fighters, but it's like now the division's getting more stacked.
I think the talent is finally.
Yeah, for the women, dude.
Yeah.
And it's exciting. I'll watch the women fight, man. Shout out the women out there that know how to throw a 1-2
It's
armbar.
cool.
She put on damn near like probably 10.
But now it's like they've had camps for females to get better. and
She's
this,
putting
that,
on.
and the third, so
Yeah, man.
better, you know?
And it's cool because I didn't know this, but India, their flag is like super similar to Ireland's flag. Same colors.
Dude, all the flags are same color
Yeah.
combinations.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's interesting. So that was the battle of who is representing for their colors more, you know, orange, white, and green. You know?
Okay.
And I think she won that.
No, that's incredible, man.
yeah. So
Shout out
I figured, What could we talk about here? I guess yeah, we could watch the Kevin Holland. There's a Kevin Holland. He got the unanimous decision dub last night. And
Shout out Trailblazer.
he was going against Gunnar Nelson, who is a great stoic fighter.
He fights like once a year now.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, if you're fighting once a year, like, dude, you're gonna be fully like that's I would like to do that. You know, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You just get
protecting his brain.
right.
Yeah. John Jones did the same thing. He became champion.
Yeah.
He was only he got like 9 wins, and they were like 9 years.
That's cool that the UFC does that. Like he's been around for a little minute, and they respect him and shit, so they let him fight once a year. You know, yeah, they don't even have to. You know,
or they just know you're going to answer that call when they call you.
Yeah, that's like you're just a contract killer.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we need you to come fight, and you're like, all right.
Let's take a look. Kevin's teeing off.
Damn.
And he just
Dude,
proceeds.
Kevin Holland's limbs are so long, bro.
Yeah, he didn't even have to
Dude,
go down to his knees.
Tall, lengthy fuckers. You guys out there, bro, they're the biggest pain in the ass to fight. If they have training, bro, look out. You know,
You're onto something with that.
If not, though, dude, I'm gonna fold you like a pretzel, dude, and just fucking. You know, no, but seriously, those guys, bro, 6'3" and up, like if they're trained, like it's gonna be a rough outing, you know.
Oh yeah,
Throw
man.
you
And
on the streets.
I think lanky dudes, like if you can't get close to them, right? If they can keep that distance, they're just gonna tag you up. That's why it's like if you can get close though and close that distance, then you can take a lanky dude to the ground maybe, or maybe just clinch him up.
Getting close with him.
You already know, man. I gotta take a couple to get in there.
Yeah. Look at Tyson, bro.
Yeah,
He
hopefully
was
doesn't steal me on the way in.
Yeah, Tyson made his living off that, being smaller, just knowing how to evade the big shot and
Tito. Shout out to Tito. He's always when he's training boxing, he talks about how Tyson would do that.
Shout out Two-Sip Tito. Shout out the Albanians out there, man.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Albanian gang. I'm with it. So I guess we'll go into the NCAA D1 Wrestling Championship.
This is your realm,
2025.
man. Let me hit it. I watched the upset. I saw it on television, and I watched a little bit briefly, but I was cool seeing the event. I think Trump came there.
Really?
You didn't see that?
Well, it was in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Trump pulled up, and they were like, "Yeah, Trump," and they were just stroking him off. I'm like, "All right, dude, like, relax." Yeah, like, all right, guys.
Yeah,
he's just a human,
Yeah,
but
another one of us.
I guess it's cool to see college wrestling getting a platform like that, and like,
I think it's cool.
I never watched it like that, but like, you wrestled, a couple of my buddies wrestled. I've always had a respect for wrestling, so it was really cool to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, the NIL, as we know of, Travis Hunter in the football realm, he was like the leader. That him and Shadur, they made a lot of money in the NIL. Shadur. Yeah, but but then there's this kid named Bo Bassett, and he was the Pennsylvania high school state champion. Okay, and they just offered him. This is like unofficial news, but they offered him $4.5 million to come to Penn State. One single donor.
Who needs the WWE when you can just do that?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Nowadays, these high school kids, it's like you're not just wrestling or
dude,
playing football for gold.
I wish we playing for
real money
this
now.
time and day, dude.
I know. I think that's going to increase the competition level at the high school level.
Dude, there's a huge conversation about that because now these kids are like almost like the quality of player you're gonna get. If you're just chasing the bag, and then like now they have all this money. Now they're skipping training. Now they're going to strip clubs. Now they're not trying to buy the nicest chain.
Think they were gonna do that with or without the bag.
Yeah, but now they're able to do it more with the bag.
Yeah, but I feel like they were able to do it before. They just don't have to pay. The homies got it.
Yeah, you're right. But then you see a lot of these guys that get in like crazy car accidents. When they get to high school, there's like these Georgia players. They're having they're like killing people, drunk driving. It's happened to like 3 or 4 like highly recruited guys.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, we were young. We were 18, 19. You give a young boy some money, bro, like that kind of money, it's a recipe to disaster.
Yeah, and
most of the time.
No, yeah, and I think
every time.
that ends up happening. Like they go into it, then they're focused too much on the money. They lose the love of the game.
Yes,
you got to have the love of the game before the money, and that's gonna happen, bro. Millions will change people.
Yeah, that dog's gonna slowly creep out of you.
Yeah, and so that's great on that end. I guess it was one single donor too, not like a group of people that got together. Some dude was just
1.5
like,
for a
I want Bo
wrestler?
Bassett on Penn State. And he
That's
just dropped
I
the
mean,
cake.
I want everyone to get paid, so get paid, brother.
Yeah, and he was nasty.
Get paid.
The kid that he went up against in the finals round.
Right.
So the guy who got second, he got beat by 15 points. It was tech fault. It was like mercy rule in wrestling.
Yeah.
So he mercy ruled the guy who, yeah, it was crazy.
He just
beat him up.
Yeah.
Beat him up. Like showed him like I'm on another
So he's
level,
the big
bro.
dog.
He's the big dog right now.
So he's
He's a lower weight class. He's like one. I don't know. Probably 145.
Stevenson's what, 205?
125. Gable Stevenson.
He's what?
Vlad, if you wanna,
Yeah, you ready for it?
yeah, pull up the Gable Stevenson video.
What's his weight class?
Go ahead and pause it for a second though. Gable Stevenson, they're 285. They're heavyweight.
285.
Yeah, they're heavyweights.
Gable Stevenson's how much? How much does he weigh?
I don't know. He's probably 285.
No.
I mean, that's the weight class. I don't know if he's the full two.
Let's get a weight check on that.
These-
On that
So Bo
fucking
Bassett,
beast.
I'm gonna start with Bo Bassett, right?
Yeah, because I think he was 125, 145 or something like that. But yeah,
144
144. Yeah. So,
is Bo Bassett, and what was the other fella you was talking about?
I know he's 285. He's right there.
Gable Stevenson.
Yeah. He's a heavyweight.
He's for sure 285.
Yeah, bro. And so is the other guy.
I thought that's the limit though. That guy right now is 285.
I think so, man.
Let me get a check on that, dude.
All right, maybe check it out, Vlad. Because
How tall is he?
I don't know if we could find exactly what he weighed in
How
at,
tall
but
is he?
he might be able to find that.
Yeah, get the whole fucking Gable Stevenson.
Yeah, you might just have to get the stat, the old.
We want the shoe size. We want his fucking. We want everything.
Yo.
My boy is 24 years old, 6'1", 265.
Okay, so he's 20 pounds under the weight.
Just a truck, you know?
20 pounds, but I guarantee you
And
the other
where's
guy.
the fat on that guy? Not too much, bro.
Well, both those wrestlers right there, Gable Stevenson and Wyatt Hendrickson. Wyatt Hendrickson won last night, by the way. He
I saw that.
Oklahoma State Air Force officer. He upset Gable Stevenson, and Gable Stevenson was an Olympic gold
Big dog
medalist.
of big
so
dogs.
It basically it's the biggest upset in
Yeah.
college wrestling history ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's
And-
fucking awesome.
Yeah, both those dudes at that weight can do backflips. They've won matches and they've done backflips.
Yeah, dude. That's.
I'm surprised Wyatt didn't hit the backflip.
6'1", 265 is an absolute unit of a human being.
Yeah, like dude,
Of a man, and you're able to.
Been wrestling for 3 rounds?
Yeah, and you're able to move, dude. If you ever came across that guy, dude, you don't want to poke that bear, man. That's
you better have a sharp
Yeah,
sword.
you better
if
pack
you're
a
gonna
fucking
poke him
lunch,
because that
dude.
boy gonna. Oh yeah,
That's a fucking scary.
But so this was a really epic match because as you could see right there, 4-2, Gable Stevenson's up, and there's only about 15 seconds left, so you can go ahead and play it.
Yeah, I saw that. How does the point system work? Like,
So it used to be.
So Oklahoma
up.
State's down. Yeah, I see that. But
He's
like,
down
What's
now.
the 4-2?
Now he got a.
So how does he score 3? My bad. By just getting the
Yeah, that's a new rule.
all limbs
It's
down.
a new rule. When I
Oh,
was wrestling in
shit.
college, you only got 2 points for a takedown. Now you get 3, and that's that. He just won. He beat him because he got that takedown, secured it, got 3 points. So he's up 5-4.
He's trying to
And
get
right
up
here,
and-
Gable was trying his heart out, but Wyatt just kept
If he
him
were
down.
to get up, he would not have won?
He would got Gable would have got a 1-point escape, and then
Okay,
it would have
see, I
been
don't know how the
5-5,
point
and now
system
they're
works.
going.
That's cool.
If you look at
I-
it, it
okay.
looks like his coach yelled and
Yeah.
said, hey, you're down.
Yeah, I think so. I think like
But look at the crowd, bro. That's awesome for wrestling, bro. People are fucking.
Check this out.
Yeah.
That's sick, man.
He's going to hear something. I'm guessing it's his coach.
no, it could just be his inner voice saying you better get your ass up because if you want to win, you know.
Yeah.
Dude, these guys are fucking swole, dude.
So the point system is
Just real quick.
I think it's a little more confusing than your typical football you get 6 points per point.
Right.
And that's why I think wrestling's not as popular as it should be because people don't understand the point system. When you understand the point system, you could see how close that match really is. And the other thing about wrestling is it's just like UFC in the sense that 2 seconds to 20 seconds could completely change the whole outcome of the fight. So it's never really quite over till it's over, But yeah, that was a beautiful thing. Now,
How many rounds is it?
three periods. They call them periods. So 3 periods. The first period is 3 minutes long. Second period's 2 minutes long. Third period's 2 minutes long.
That's actually
So
really
it's
cool.
3-2-2.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now in high school it's 2-2-2. In
What if they did
college you
that-
get that extra minute.
Hear me out. What if they did that MMA? So the third round just gonna be It is sometimes. Sometimes these fighters are just.
Exhibition matches, I think.
But if you make it 2 minutes, third or fifth round, dude, imagine that.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of violence, a lot more
A lot of
violence.
jiu-jitsu guys that complain about
Right, dude. People are
it.
just
A
gonna be
little more
getting.
time to work it.
I think
you're right.
I think it's the UFC's a little some people believe that there shouldn't even be stopping at the end of each round. They just think it should be completely all the way.
That's how it was back.
'Cause that's how a real fight would be.
Back in the day, they used to do that.
Yeah.
I think it was Pride or before that. It was one of the
Now,
fight.
UFC, I think didn't have
At one point, yeah.
Yeah. If you're saved by the bell, it's like that's a little. That's
Yeah,
not how it
dude.
would be in a real life situation.
Just die on your sword at that
So
point.
I kind of agree with that. I think it might be a little inhumane. You're not giving them breaks, but look at what they're doing. You know, like is
Save that
it?
for the AI robots.
Yeah.
If you want to touch on that, there's one thing I saw the other night. I was just on YouTube, and Mike Perry, he has a new fighting promotion. It's called Dirty Boxing.
Yes.
So we can shout out Dirty Boxing. But Yoel
Yes.
Romero just fought on it. He's 48 years old, and
Oh
he just
my.
knocked out a guy that's 36. That was 6'7", dude. The guy, if you look at the video of the guy, he was a giant. He
Oh
was like
my
a long,
gosh.
like 300+ pound guy against Yoel, bro.
I saw the face off.
And Yoel won, dude. I watched and it was intense.
So do you think that Yoel is
Dude,
a human being, or do you think he's an alien? Because that guy.
I mean, there's genetic freaks,
yeah.
especially, but like, dude, he's pumping sauce,
Yeah.
John Jones is in on it with Mike Perry.
He's invested in it.
Yeah. He just became a co-owner, signed like 2 days ago.
That's awesome. I support Mike Perry, man. Shout out Platinum Mike Perry.
Bro, Mike Perry's probably like 5 hours from here.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna
He's
be
a
hanging
Florida
out. We're gonna
boy.
be hanging out with Mike Perry soon, I think.
That'd be sick.
But
bro. What if we got Mike Perry?
dude, I
on the
support
pod?
that Dirty Boxing. It's like you knock him, like you hit him, you can ground and pound him. There's like I forgot the rule set. It's very interesting. You could throw elbows. It's like boxing, no jiu-jitsu, boxing elbows, but you're using like UFC gloves.
Yeah.
So it's not quite bare knuckle, but you can throw elbows. There's ground and pound. So
That's
I mean,
pretty
you're in for a
sweet,
good
dude.
show, entertainment. I think it'll catch on.
Yeah.
I really do.
I think he said he's trying to implement a rule where if you get knocked down on your back, you can go for head kicks. But if you're on top, you can do face stomps.
Opponents will box a sweet science glove like an MMA fighter with the freedom to throw bows like a Thai fighter. Plus, if the action hits the ground, fighters can keep striking to finish the
To finish, yeah, you got to go for the kill.
That is so sick.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. So another cool way of the win. What was his? Oh yeah, Dean Peterson.
Way of the win.
Remember you sent me that unconventional roll through cradle on Instagram the
Dude,
other day?
yeah, I'm not even as
If
big
you-
as a wrestling connoisseur, but I saw this and was like, dude, this is fucking.
Yeah. So
Fucking
Dean
intense.
Peterson here, he upset this guy here.
What are these guys, like 130, dude?
I think they're 125.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
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 Energizer.
Yeah, bro. Look at these guys, dude.
Yeah. So Dean Peterson wrestles for Rutgers University.
No,
he
this
was
was intense.
he was the number 12 seed, and he just rolled through cradled right
What
there.
is that? What are you pulling? So you're pulling his leg up, and what do you have him in a fucking? So you're one leg wrapped on that leg, and then you're pulling that leg back,
Yep.
and it's just painful as shit, or
Yeah. Well,
is
it's
it just like you
it's,
can't move from there.
Yeah, your limbs are locked up, so
Yeah.
you don't have many defenses.
Damn, he hit the flex on him. Look,
If you're in
Yeah.
the position, if you're in the position,
yo, he's talking his shit.
Yeah, he
right
was.
now, bro.
he could talk his shit, dude. That when you do something,
Ranked 12 and he beat number 5.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
and last year that was the national champion, the guy that he beat.
Arizona State guy.
Yeah, Arizona State guy. Yeah,
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
yeah. So he now I think what happened was Dean Peterson went to the next round, so he punched his ticket here to the quarterfinals round,
Yeah.
but then he got beat on a close decision 4-2.
Who? Rutgers.
Yeah, Rutgers. So he didn't make it to the top 4, but it
Is
was
it still going? Or is it-
no, it ended last night.
champs are set.
Wait, no, yeah, yeah. Last night was the last.
Did that guy? He's champion. That's why it was so intense.
Wyatt Hendrickson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's the champ now.
Yeah, he's champ.
He's a big
He's
dog.
champ. Now he can talk his
He's
shit.
a big dog.
You could tell he was like very humble, but now he's like, I'm the champ now.
Dude,
I
I
beat.
would've been-
If you beat Gable Stevenson, dude, that's the one guy before the tournament started. I said nobody's gonna beat him
Ever.
ever, and he got beat.
Every dog has their day, man.
Yeah, man.
Always talk about.
And I thought AJ Ferrari was gonna do well. He's the 197 pounder. He had some legal allegations, so he was kind of an infamous wrestler, but brings a lot of eyes to the sport too.
What allegations are we talking here?
Sexual.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think they were saying that some girl was saying that that he was pressuring her
or
something,
yeah,
trying to sleep,
right?
Yeah, and you know what
Yeah.
happened? You know what happened? Case got dismissed. The district attorney dismissed the case because
sad,
the girl just didn't want to press. She didn't want to go any further because for whatever reason.
When you're in the spotlight, bro, it seems like Johnny Depp and like all these high profile people, these athletes. It's like when you got those millions and you got the cameras following you, girls are always gonna say, "Oh my gosh, he tried to put it in my sphincter." It's like, but it's like
They did catch, yeah.
some of them are probably dirtbags, but it's like a lot of 90% of the times it's a money grab. It's sad.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
sad,
I've
you
seen
know?
girls like cheat on their boyfriend and then claim they got raped.
Right.
So that,
That's
that's a
disgusting.
slippery slope.
That's filthy.
And that's just goes to the testament that they're not everyone's gonna always be honest. Honor is more of like a brotherhood kind of thing.
Yeah, you're not gonna get honor in those kind of places,
In those
especially when
realms.
you're hooking up with those kind of women. You have money, and you're just these bimbos with huge knockers, and
Yeah.
you kind of signing up for that.
Yeah.
The vultures are gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna find
Yeah.
you.
The leeches will
Yeah,
lock their claws in and
yeah.
dude, so
that's
but
unfortunate.
AJ Ferrari,
Yeah.
he was undefeated. He was like, I think that he was undefeated. I don't know how many matches he won, but he had a close match in the semifinals. So I guess he got beat by, who was it? Iowa. Yeah, Iowa University.
They always have elite wrestling.
Yeah.
All those Big Ten schools, like Iowa, Penn State,
my gosh.
Minnesota,
Bro.
and they're the big dogs.
Bro, when you pull up to Iowa, right?
Dude, I've never been there. Have you been there?
No.
Yeah.
But I've heard this. So listen to this. You know how you pull up to Florida, it says, "Welcome to the Sunshine State."
Yeah, welcome to the swamp.
So you pull up to Iowa, right? You know what it says? "Welcome to Iowa. I hope you brought something to do." Because there ain't
It
nothing.
doesn't say
I
that.
swear, bro.
I don't believe you. I don't believe that. Is that a factual thing, or you just pull that out of you?
I think it is. But that's why they're just wrestling.
That's
out there.
hilarious. Welcome to Iowa.
What was he?
Hope you
21.
brought something to do.
That's it, I think overall record. I mean, it says 2025 redshirt sophomore, but look here, it's showing like way back.
So Ferreira's like a 195er, 190.
Yeah, for Ferrari, AJ Ferrari. He's
He's my wheelhouse, dude.
He's a bad dude, bro. Like, that's the thing. Like, these guys, they get, he got to the point, and it was cool listening to his interview. He's like, "Man, I did everything I could possibly do, man." He's like, I've been wearing bamboo underwear.
Oh, I saw that guy.
You saw him?
That's okay. Now I have a face to him. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
And then he said some real cool spiritual stuff about God.
He did, bro.
And it hit. He was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I wasn't being humble." He's like, "Pride." He's like, "I wasn't being humble, or something. I wasn't doing it for the right reason." And he was like smiling in defeat,
Yeah.
knowing like,
He
you
played
know?
around too much.
Yeah.
Now, what's cool though is like by him saying I wasn't being humble. That's him being humble after the fact, which I really like. It's like you lost, but now you're humble enough to be like, yeah, I was talking smack before the match, and maybe that wasn't the right thing to do. Maybe I should have been more locked in instead of trying to mentally beat him.
Mental warfare. He said I saw the interview. He's like, I tried a little bit of mental.
Yeah.
Sometimes mental warfare is good, man, but
Oh yeah.
but when it backfires, it's like you saw McGregor was the king of mental warfare.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He won the fight before
Teamwork,
Jose
yeah.
Aldo. That's
Right.
the first fight I think
Yeah.
of is
Before-
McGregor.
but that's what I'm saying. Those guys he fought before weren't as mentally strong as Khabib.
No, absolutely.
Khabib's a
Jose
fucking
Aldo-
fortress up here,
Jose
dude.
Aldo already lost before he even got in the ring.
Yep.
Hey, did you hear Connor talk
100%.
about
Yeah,
that?
dude, it was
He's
amazing.
like, when we went to walk-ups, I seen how emotional he was.
Yep. So he knew he was gonna
I
rush.
seen him drop his right
Yeah.
arm. And
Oh, yeah.
Right there, I knew I got it.
That's the kind of shit I like, dude. The Art of War. That's amazing stuff
Yeah.
right there.
The Art of War is great. That's a great book, by the way.
Yeah.
Sun Tzu. But
Shout out.
yeah,
Shout out
but
Sun Tzu.
that's what we like. We like violent sports. We
Yeah.
like to see some combat.
Oh my gosh, dude.
That's what we like to put our eyes on. Now, I'll say this: ever since ever since kids, we liked watching that. Now, did you ever, Jonah? Let me ask you. You a big fan of like watching baseball or golf?
Yo, I did not know you were gonna ask me this,
Yeah.
dude. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Baseball, I never really, never really did anything for me, right? And so me and Jake, we so happened to be like working, and we were at this place picking up some flooring,
Yeah.
and it was I think it's the Phillies. They have their spring training down here in Clearwater, and we're just sitting here waiting to get this floor, and I look over at Jake, and I'm like, dude, look at all these people. It's a beautiful day. I'm like, it's 10:30. They're lined up to watch. It's not even like the huge stadium to watch baseball. That's
Yeah.
not even like MLB.
Yeah, they're like B League.
And they're in line. They're waiting. They're like all like sardine together, waiting to watch baseball. And I looked in and I said, man, hey, if you like baseball, bro, it's not my cup of tea. It is what it is. It's kind of gay. But long story short, I'm like, bro, I hope I'm never at that point in my life where I'm like, yeah, man, we got to go watch the spring game down there. Like,
Yeah.
it like opened my eyes like, damn, like,
Yeah, man.
that's some really gay shit,
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if I wanted to go watch like full-grown men play with balls, I'd just go. I would just go to the gay bar, like Blur.
Dude,
go to your local gay bar, right?
Dude, they're
That's what
playing
I'm-
with balls. Yeah, the baseball thing, it's like, I get it. They're really talented, but you're not seeing any like freakish athleticism of another man being displayed, violence, cardio, not any oohs and ahs. Oh, he's up to bat. Here he goes. He swings. Oh my God. And then he goes and catches your fucking ball, and everyone's like, yeah, fuck yeah. He caught that shit.
Yeah.
And he gets paid $340 million
Yeah.
for catching a ball in the outfield.
Yeah, and the whole time,
Dude.
they're watching that. They're screaming, right? But at the whole time, they're shoving glizzies down their
To make it gayer, you're at this place watching these other men getting paid gazillions of dollars while you hate your life.
Yeah.
You're sitting in the stands and you're just gobbling on a glizzy.
just nice hot dog to the gullet, and then you're like, "Give me another beer. We're winning. Give me another one."
And
So beer,
no, I don't.
glizzies, and balls. I don't know if it's our
Nah,
cup of
baseball, golf, I get it. All my friends play. All our guys at this age, they play.
tea. Yeah,
I haven't got into it yet.
good networking sport, but to watch it,
I mean, you have to really enjoy it.
now we're tiptoeing on the boundaries.
Now
I'm
we're
trying to pull up the stats, but it's been dropping viewership. I mean, it used to be the
Really?
sport in the U.S.
interesting.
Now I think it's like fourth or fifth.
Ooh,
UFC's gotta be
that's
number
interesting.
one.
We're gonna get this message out here. We're
Yeah, I think
canceling
hockey-
baseball, bro. It's gay.
Try jumping ahead of it, but
I hope
they
it
know
does.
because they've been putting in stuff like a pitch clock to try and speed the game up a little
Dude.
bit.
Yeah.
Who knows if it's
I mean, if
gonna
you
work.
grew up playing baseball and that was your sport, man, kudos to you. But baseball fucking sucks.
Yeah,
It
God
just
bless them.
sucks,
God
dude.
bless them, though.
God bless them, man.
So we'll do one last sector of the show before we move into some questions for you,
All right,
Jonah.
cool. Let's do it.
So we're gonna go ahead and bring up our sector of the show called Chuckle Fuck of the Week.
Chuckle fuck of the week.
If you look over to the right there, buddy,
go.
there should be a Florida man. Yeah, right there.
Let's get.
So yeah, 18-year-old bites off man's ear during spring break fight on
Nice.
Florida Beach.
Nice.
Yeah, he's an 18-year-old white kid named Jack Turner.
Okay, Jack.
So I think the question is
Shout out
here.
Jack Turner,
Yeah,
man.
shout out to Jack,
Free
man.
my dog.
Yeah, free Jack, man. Free that boy Jack.
Free that boy Jack.
Now,
He's a good kid.
now yeah, because
He's a good kid.
yeah, man.
You never know, man.
Hey, man, we just got to get him in an MMA gym.
Right.
Get him in a jiu-jitsu gym,
Get him on the baseball field.
Yeah, make sure he's got his mouth guard.
Just kidding.
He's
bro.
got his mouth guard
Just
in.
kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Yeah. So we could go, bring Mike Tyson to the baseball league.
no.
Yeah, no, but
Well, what's the story?
so the story is, I guess that some dude that he apparently knew, they were getting into a verbal altercation, and the guy decided, hey, this is getting crazy. I'm going to walk away. All right. This was on Fort Myers Beach back March 21st. I think it was this past Friday.
Is there a video of the ear biting?
No, that'd be so sick.
yeah,
Maybe one will surface if this story gets
Maybe,
big.
yeah.
But I guess what happened was Jack just wasn't having it, so
Okay.
he sprinted towards the guy, jumped on his back like a monkey, and bit his ear off. So that's how it went. I think it was the left.
Was he
ear.
was he under the influence of any kind of drugs, narcotics?
I don't think he was on any Pasco Ice. Maybe just spring breaking
No.
it up. You know, just got a little aggressive.
Maybe he doing some other drugs. He might have had a little bit of Pasco Ice in there.
That can happen. You know, you're just on the beach, you're drinking some beer, and some dude just sprinkles a little Pasco Ice, and now you're trying to take people out.
A little bit of Pasco Ice. Pasco Ice, for those who are watching and don't know, is methamphetamine, also known as ice. And we call it Pasco Ice here in this area we live in because there's a lot of it around, and people are just Pasco iced up, dude.
Yeah, I always say, if you have more adults on bicycles in your neighborhood at night than kids, something's wrong.
Yep.
There's Pasco Ice is probably around.
Pasco Ice, man.
But yeah, we don't have to beat that one up too much. I just wanted to.
He's a chuckle fuck of the week. I mean,
is it him or is it the guy that got his ear bit off? That's the debate here, right?
If you let someone bite your ear, and he's a young kid, it's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, is he? He's look. I mean, look at the dude. The mugshot will show. Like,
That
is he a chuckle fuck?
Man, I don't know. We're not gonna label him a chuckle fuck, even though he made the sector.
He does kind of look like a chuckle.
We're not gonna label him a chuckle, but we're gonna say,
racial slurs. Hold on, let me hear. A bystander shared footage of the brawl with deputies claiming that he could hear Turner calling the victim racial slurs. Okay, so was it white on black crime?
That's what I want to know. Was it a black guy?
Maybe
I thought it was a white guy. That's why I.
Oh, do we have a video? Oh, there is a video out.
Of the incident? Okay.
I don't know.
We will find that.
Okay, I'll try and find it and put it on there, and if we can, we'll pan the screen to
I mean, I've been in some serious violent altercations, but I've never bit anyone's ear. So
And he was laying haymakers to the back of his head.
I mean,
down
dude,
on the ground.
maybe he got called a racial slur.
No, he was doing the calling.
Oh yeah, he's a hateful human being, man.
So we'll label him chuckle of the week,
If you're
but
racist, why are you biting the man's ear?
You're a chuckle of the week, man. You can't be. I mean, I don't know if that changes your charges. Like, is that like attempted? Like, if
It
you're
is. If there was racist slurs beforehand, that
no, but if you're biting though, is that like some sort of enhanced charge? If you're biting,
So if he said racist shit before he bit the ear, that's automatically an extra charge.
oh my god.
so we'll say this.
So if before I punch you in the face, if I'm like, you dirty cracker, is that?
You know how they say racism against white people don't exist.
Oh, that's a whole nother.
yeah.
We'll
Wait a
save
minute.
that for another episode. But that's true.
So to wrap it up with this guy Jack Turner, though, we'll just say this: if Jack hears this and he reaches out,
Hey, free my dog Jack Turner, man. We'd love to have you on. You know?
free. We like to help people.
Yeah.
So if Jack reaches out to us, we'll go ahead and buy him a free month of jiu-jitsu class.
Oh yeah, dude.
You know, try to get him off the streets and into a
I'm with
gym.
it. Hey,
He's obviously got some extra aggression, right? I'll pay for it.
That's deep, man. A lot of these young kids out here, they're using their all this, like we talked about before, this endless energy to do the wrong things, like bite people's ears off, or do what we did: binge drink and chase a bunch of endless, purposeless sex.
Yeah.
And if you use that sexual energy and harness it, dude, into athletics, into anything,
something to benefit yourself, make yourself better.
It could change their lives.
It could change the trajectory
For sure,
bro. So now I guess we'll just jump into some questions for Jonah.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Rapid fire.
Rapid fire. All right. So Jonah, as I mentioned before, Jonah is a model and actor. So you've done some modeling.
Yeah.
Let's do this one. If you were in a movie where you had to choose one martial arts move to save the world, what would that move be?
Dude,
and
you're
bonus points if it's a
incredible.
ridiculous move.
So like legit real.
Yeah,
moves.
like if you just say, I'm gonna check his oil crossface.
Okay, check.
No,
the
I'm kidding.
crossface.
Okay, I'm kidding. But no, whatever you're thinking, it
What?
could. Just think of
So
how
what am I
It could
epic.
just be ridiculous as long as it was in a movie.
No, it's
I'm a
if you're
superhero, basically?
if you're the superhero
Okay.
in this movie, and you can only choose one martial arts move to save the planet, what are you gonna do?
Honestly, just right off the top, I'd probably just go Superman punch.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Did you really?
I thought you would.
Yeah, Superman punch. I've used it in combat before, and it's has a name, Superman punch. You know,
So because when I asked the question or when I developed the question, I thought about it and I'm like, I think he's gonna imagine himself jumping in the air, slow motion,
Dude,
doing a Superman.
I mean, if you've seen it in the old UFC fights, like Chuck Liddell, like,
Oh my-
dude, it's the most
The
epic.
Iceman,
Yo,
dude.
the Superman punch, bro.
That's like when we were in middle school. We grew up on the Iceman, and Lyoto Machida.
that gets me going. I'd
Yeah,
go Superman
dude.
punch on that one.
That's sick.
Save
dude.
the world with
I'm
the
so glad
Superman
you
punch,
chose that
man, yeah.
move. That's a cool one.
Yeah.
You get bonus points.
Second,
for
though, I'd probably go oil check crossface.
that.
though.
Whoa. Oh, I love it, dude. All right. So, all right, I got another one here. You've done modeling.
Yeah.
So, what's the weirdest pose you've ever been asked to do for a shoot?
Dude, you're going to say some homosexual.
Like crouching tiger, hidden
No,
dragon?
I haven't
or-
really. I mean, there's some weird stuff going on. I haven't really gotten any, but people will message you on some weird stuff, and you got to tell them that you're not into that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
no, the weird. I don't know, man. I don't even know if it's that weird, but maybe just like always like the hand on the face. It's like you kind of.
Yeah.
Like, you don't feel like a complete flamer, but you're like, you know what I mean?
It feels a little uncomfortable.
You're like the hand on the face.
Yeah.
And then one time they told me to like.
No, wait.
Pause.
Gander off into the
No, yeah,
distance.
just some like gandering, like some turns, maybe like the glasses down, like, hey, didn't see you there, kind of thing. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Nothing crazy yet.
That's cool. I mean, nothing too weird,
No.
Okay. So, I've got a bunch of questions here, but I'm just gonna pick out a
Spitball
couple.
'em, yeah, dude.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's one actor, model, or martial artist that you would want to either work with or train with if you had the opportunity?
Dude, these questions are insane, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like if, let's say you're, you get one free day of training with some martial artist. Who you choosing, bro? I think I know who I would choose.
3 day of training.
Yeah.
Goodness.
He's-
Honestly,
Yeah.
just to say it, probably either be between GSP
Oh yeah.
or Khabib.
Okay. That's funny.
If I'm being honest,
No, those were good
pick
choices.
their brains, get their kind of their grappling techniques. And
Mhm.
GSP, if you look at his physique, is incredible, man. And acting wise, one of my favorite actors. I don't know his name off the top. Type in the guy that played Ragnar, Lothbrok.
Oh, dude.
He's like one of my
in the
favorite
Viking
actors.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a great show.
He's probably one of my favorite actors, man.
I used to get paid to watch that show.
Travis Fimmel, bro. Shout out Travis Fimmel, bro. He's a dog.
Bro, that'd be
He
so
played
cool.
Yeah, I like that guy a lot, man. I think he's really talented, and yeah, he's the man.
That's a hell of a show.
Yeah, I think he started off as a model.
The way he went, boy.
Bro, he started off as a model, bro. He was doing like Hanes, Calvin Klein.
Seriously. He looks a lot like
Are you gonna be in Vikings too now?
Dude, that's
He
if you're
looks-
asking for my dream role, bro, is I want to be in Gladiator, a movie like Vike. That's what I want.
that'd be really
Every
cool.
boy's dream,
You
right?
know
Right,
who,
lit- Am I lying, bro?
you know who he looks like is the guy that Justin Gaethje just knocked out.
He really does.
Or not didn't knock him out.
You can
but
put the
beat.
face by face. Rafael Fazeev.
Yes, I knew you knew
Yeah,
his name.
Rafael Fazeev, he does. Looks a lot like him.
Yeah, very, very similar. Yeah.
Fuzzy.
My two
Fazeev,
choices
Fizz.
as far as training
Fizz.
would have been Khabib, obviously, and also John Jones. That was my
Oh
second.
yeah, I forgot
because
about it.
you know
he-
you're.
If I say
gonna
John
do a
Jones,
little
though,
partying
he
after.
probably would have wanted to put some lines down, you know.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I
no.
wouldn't have been trying to do that. You know.
I mean, you never know, man. It's like, hey, whatever.
man, with John Jones, so we got to do some lines, man.
yeah.
Nah,
No,
don't do
he's
drugs, man.
No, don't do drugs. But he was a JUCO national champion wrestler. Just John Jones is just
Yeah, he's an absolute dog.
he's so unorthodox.
There's not too many humans walking this earth right now that can defeat him in one-on-one combat.
No, you put anyone
Yeah.
in a room with John Jones, he's coming out alive. That's my
So Aspinall
even a
fights
Khabib.
someone down, yeah?
Dude, Aspinall though, we're gonna see that. We'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll break that down. when the
Hopefully
time
that
comes.
fight
They're saying he
happens.
needs 6 months to get ready for it. John Jones,
Yeah.
'cause he calls the shots now. It's funny.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, well, I fight when I want. I mean, because he's John Jones, you know.
Yeah, he's
fucking-
the money
Hey,
fight.
he
Yeah.
put in the knock-
That's
Yeah.
why Aspinall's chasing him down so much. He wants that
No,
money fight.
Aspinall's really fast though. It'd
Why
be
do you
interesting.
think he really don't like Aspinall? Because he said it's on a personal level. I just don't even want to give the credit to fight that dude.
Yeah, it's like ego. You know, when you're a fighter, it's like all these guys have egos, man. Like everyone has
I
an
think
ego.
McGregor made it worse.
Fighters,
You
bro.
know what
Ooh,
I mean?
I got a good
You know,
question.
Fighters'
obviously
egos are
to-
nuts.
to bring it
I'll give you
in.
another question here. What's like a good phrase that you would live by? You know, like that puts you in a good mindset. It could be a Bible verse. It could be a phrase.
Oh man,
Something you just wake up and you remind yourself, you know?
can I cheat real quick and just use my phone?
Yeah, of course, because you probably got a whole
this is like
plethora
one
in
of
your
my
photos.
This is, yeah,
in your screenshots.
motivational stuff, man.
Yeah,
Love
you're
it.
always sending me stuff like that. That's why I was like, I
Um,
need to see if he could dial it in on one thing, you know?
You know, the Bible always has knowledge, man. Whether you believe it or not, it's a spiritual guideline for men for thousands of years, and I think, excuse me, whether you believe it or not, man, it's just got gems in it, dude, that hit you in the times where you're not expecting it, and you're like, here's what really.
I
good
always said
verse.
you could
I forgot
open-
it. I know it, but I don't want to get it wrong. That would be Timothy, 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and a sound mind. Just simple, but I love that one.
Can you repeat that?
Yes. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and a sound mind.
I like it.
It's easy to forget, man. It's easy to fear what people think about you, to fear before you go on that job interview, to be filled with fear and second guessing yourself. But as the humans that we are, created in the image and likeness of God, we're not meant to even. But like we always talk about, this world is not set up for that. It's everything in our life is be living on a feared frequency. The news and drama and war and just being scared all the time. It's like, bro, we're not meant to be scared of anything.
Right.
And I got to remind myself that sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? Filled with love, a sound mind, and no fear.
And the rest handles itself.
And no fear.
Yeah, no fear.
That's probably my.
I like
It's probably
that,
my
dude.
favorite verse. It's
That's
an
a-
underrated verse. I don't know. Maybe you guys like that verse out there, but
That's
Yeah.
good. I just pulled up Marcus Aurelius' quotes. First
oh,
one.
dude, the
First
Stoics.
one, badass.
I love him.
First one, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength.
That's it.
That's
Your
crazy how
mind-
that correlates.
Your mind is a
bro.
weapon, dude. I get the chills when we talk about that stuff because it really gets me going.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I like it.
So I guess just to wrap it up, is there any advice that you want to give the young generation or just anybody out
Oh
there who
my
might be going
gosh.
through it in life at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, I could give some advice. You know, I'm not a PhD or anything, but I'm a human that's lived a eventful life just like everybody else, you know? And if you're young, let's say a younger kid, high school, early 20s, man, don't party all the time. Don't do drugs. I mean it. Do not do drugs. Do not smoke weed. You are killing your aura. You're killing your creativity. You're killing your God-given gifts, and you're just suppressing it. And then when you get off of it, you're going to realize it, and the light bulb's going to come on your head that you wasted all this time. And I'm telling you it because I wasted time, and I regret it. So don't waste time partying and hanging out with losers. Find something you love, focus, harness it, curate the people around you, curate your friends, support your loved ones, build your body up. Don't feed into negativity. Don't hang out with negative people. And yeah, if you're in a dark place, if you're depressed, man, just know no one's coming to save you. You got to dig yourself out yourself. You're a man. Shit, we've all been there. Every man, their second life begins when they hit rock bottom, man. It's just you. You got to remember that you're going to die alone. Just you. So be comfortable with yourself, everything that's wrong with you, your imperfections, what people make fun of you of, and laugh about it, embrace it, become a fucking animal, and drop your nuts on people and say, I did it, you know?
Dude.
You made it out of depression. You beat addiction. You can do anything in life. Straight up. That's the hardest thing. Once you do that, it's like life's spread open for you, bro.
Yeah, smooth sailing.
That's it. So that would end it with that. I mean, sorry if I went too long.
No, dude, that was
Yeah.
the best answer you could have possibly have given. And yeah, keep that positive aura pumping, baby.
That's it.
Jonah, thanks for being
Hey,
here, man.
love. I love
Thanks
it.
for coming
I'll
on the
be
show.
soon,
and
man.
yeah, Jonah's coming back soon.
Let's
and,
go.
Just one last thing for all the people out there. Stay gay.
Yo, bro.
That's it.
Pancake Jake Show, best podcast in the world. You hear me?
What is love? Baby, don't hurt me.